Hello, welcome back to another Petroglyphs in the Sky UFO show. How is everybody doing today? Glad you are with us in this chaotic world that's happening right now. Boy, can you believe all the stuff that's going on? Well, that just proves that, we're getting ready to enter this another world here pretty soon. And that's the reason why these UFOs are hanging around and we're seeing so many of them, is because things are escalating so quick. So yeah, hi, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Petroglyphs in the Sky. Welcome or welcome back if this is your first time. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky. Make sure it says The Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky. The only place where the true history, proven facts of what the Phoenix Lights really is and how they are connected to Phoenix, Arizona's history. Glad you guys are here today. Boy, we have a great show as always, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the petroglyphs up on South Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona. And we have this pretty incredible UFO sighting that happened just a few days ago. And so, yeah, we're going to show that as well. So glad you guys are with us. Let's get to the announcements. Okay, Haunted Encounter Adventures. If you guys like paranormal stuff and ghosts and things like that, my wife and I are paranormal investigators also. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel, Haunted Encounter Adventures, and find us on Facebook as well. And so yeah, lots of great ghost investigations we've done, and there are more to come. So we have a lot of great things in future. And so yeah, make sure that you check out Haunted Encounter Adventures and stop by, say hi, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, here we go. The Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, True Stories, Myths, Legends, and UFOs over Phoenix. Written by yours truly, Jeff Woolwine. This is 15 years in the making, folks. Lots of hiking on South Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona. The source of the Phoenix Lights in this Valley of the Sun. And all these other UFO sightings. Yes, South Mountain is the source. This is where these UFOs are drawn to and have been drawn to for thousands and thousands of years. The Phoenix Lights isn't anything new. According to Arizona's past, this has always been with us. And in this book right here explains on what the Phoenix Lights is, and the Hohokam Indians, the Hohokam people, were the first Native Americans who settled here in this Valley of the Sun. They carved what are now known as petroglyphs. Petroglyphs is an Indian term, as rock drawings, rock carvings. And they told their stories on the rocks, on the mountains around Phoenix, Arizona. Doing my very, very long investigation on the Phoenix Lights, actually hiking that mountain and all the other mountains around Phoenix, Arizona, trying to get to the bottom of what the Phoenix Lights is. I learned pretty quick that these petroglyphs out here on South Mountain and the Arizona mountains are in fact UFO sightings. This is a history scroll. All these mountains out here are written testimony of, who the Hohokam people really were, and their lifestyles and their UFO sightings. Turns out that the Hohokam people actually interacted with these Phoenix Lights and all these other UFOs that we see in the skies today. The Hohokam people was just one of many tribes that interacted with these beings. Now, did I look at? Did I think that these things were spaceships? Yes, of course I did. That's what everybody is led to believe. That these things are crafts. These things are from another world. They're extraterrestrial. But the more and more I studied them, the more and more I watched them, the more and more I understood about the petroglyphs out there. I realize that what we're dealing with here in Phoenix, Arizona, and also in your neck of the woods, are not crafts at all. Sure, crafts could be real. Why not? I'm open to the fact, that there's spaceships and little gray guys running around and living in people's closets. Why not? I'm open to that. Haven't seen any proof of that yet. I'm still waiting. The evidence is suggesting that what these things are intelligent living beings. These things are living entities, if you will. You see 5 lights out there. A lot of people mistakenly think that this is a craft out there, or these lights are spaceships, crafts. That's all fine and dandy, because that's what we have been led to believe for so many years. No one has actually investigated what these things are as far as their history. Well, I did. I spent 15 long years up there on South Mountain. And, I'm born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. Been seeing these things ever since I was a kid. This is what led me to go out there and find out what the hell was going on in my backyard, man, because I kept seeing them. And I went with the history of Phoenix. Because the phoenix is a fiery bird that rose out from the formal civilization. But they don't really go into the details of this formal civilization. They just tell you what they want you to know. The rest of it has been covered up. And there's a major conspiracy here in Phoenix, Arizona, as far as the Hohokam Indians, as far as what the Phoenix Lights is. And these aren't flares, they're not balloons, and they're obviously they're truly not spaceships. These things are living creatures. These things are living entities, and they have always been drawn to these mountains in Phoenix, especially South Mountain. Like I said before, South Mountain is the source, is the heart of the Phoenix Lights. These lights have always been visiting this mountain for thousands of years. And why is this? It's because of the energy that this mountain holds, it harnesses. These mountains, especially Phoenix, Arizona, especially South Mountain, was created by fault lines. Fault lines generate energy. As a matter of fact, there's a power plant out there on Ray Road on the east side of South Mountain. Those of you who are living in the Valley of the Sun, look it up. There's a power plant right there on Ray Road, east of the mountain there. Bore down into that fault line. And in 2004, what happened, man? These Phoenix Lights were hanging over that power plant, absorbing that energy. And, so the more energy they suck up, the more energy, the more money we got to pay for that, right? That's pretty much how it goes. You ever wonder why the utility bills go up high in Phoenix, Arizona? Well, of course, not only is it hot here and everybody's turning on their air conditioner, but also it's the right time of season, the right season for these lights and these entities to visit the Valley of the Sun to absorb that energy. And if there's a power plant out there turning on our lights, and it's also feeding the Phoenix Lights, we're gonna end up paying for that, and we do. And that's another major conspiracy that no one talks about, and the only person who's going to talk about this is me right here on this show, because I've seen it. And I've witnessed these lights over that power plant absorbing that energy. And this has been going on for thousands of years. As a matter of fact, that spot right there where this power plant is today is the major spot for the Hohokam City. Doing my investigations here in Phoenix, Arizona, and the Phoenix Lights and the Hohokam Indians, I found a map. That was buried for the last 80 years in the Phoenix Library and in a folder. And it actually showed when the Pilgrims first got here, when Jack Swelling and his people finally settled here in Phoenix to start building a city, building a town again from the ashes of the formal civilization. They made maps and they mapped all the canal systems here in Phoenix. They mapped all where the Hohokam's villages were and the Hogans and all the Indian ruins. They mapped all that stuff, and it's in the library today. And they also mapped where their cemeteries were. And we'll probably get into that later on in the show. If not, it's on some of my past shows. But right now we're talking about this power plant, and so right back then, this was when the Hohokams were here in Phoenix. That power plant was the major spot for the Hohokam Indians. As a matter of fact, that map shows lots of canal systems around that area and tons of Hohokam buildings, structures. That was the heart of the city for the Hohokam, right there where that power plant sits. So what does that tell me? That tells me that these Hohokams, these Native Americans, wanted to get as close as they could to these lights because obviously, those lights are drawn to that area, so they're going to be right under those lights. This is the reason why we find Indian structures high up on hill cliffs, on the sides of cliffs. Not only is it good defensive purposes for their enemies and they can see who's coming up on them, but also, especially like some of these, I want to say Montezuma's Castle, to the left of that, if you look at Montezuma's Castle, that cliff dwelling high up on the up on the ledge there, you'll notice on the left side is a huge crack that goes down the side of the mountain there. Next to that crack is a huge spiral. All right, now that spiral is a doorway. I don't know if it's still there now, but when I was a kid, I believe I was witnessing that when I was a kid. And there's a crack next to that Hohokam structure in the side of the rock. And there was a spiral there. Well, spirals are symbols for doorways. And these doorways are the emergence points for these beings to go in and out of. So not only is it a good strategic area to build your city or your town high up on a cliff dwelling, but also they're getting as close as they could to the doorway, to the emergence point. Now the Native Americans say that these beings, their gods, if you will, are going down into the underworld. But on a scientific analysis, what did I just say? They're going down into that fault line. They're going down into that energy source. This is the reason why they're hanging around these mountains around Phoenix. This is why Phoenix, Arizona is so popular for the Phoenix Lights, is because it harnesses that energy. And so, yeah, that's it. And, they come in seasons. Those of you who've been watching my shows know that they come in seasons. Over the last few years, watching these things come and go from the mountains, I noticed during the equinox and the solstice and the changing of the seasons was exactly on how to predict when these lights are going to be here. So, all this stuff is in this book. I can go on forever. And the Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, Landscape for the Spirits, talks about the first park ranger, Charles Holberg, who knew about the Hohokam Indians, who knew about the Mayans, who protected the gold tombs on South Mountain. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are tombs on South Mountain. And check out my website. You can find my website on all my YouTube videos, on the descriptions below of my YouTube videos. And you can see Charles Holberg. You can see what he says about the Phoenix Lights, how he calls this city the lost city of Cibola, the lost city of gold. Okay, wasn't that what the Spanish conquistadors were looking for? Weren't they looking for the lost cities of gold? Yes, they were. And they felt that Phoenix, Arizona was one of the lost cities of gold. And so Charles Holberg knew about this, and the Native Americans at that time told Charles where these gold tombs were, left by the Hohokams and the Mayans. And so he was out there protecting the tombs out there on South Mountain. Up until his death in the late 40s. After that happened, when he passed away, they buried all his information. He used to tell people about the tombs up there. He told people about the spirits of the earth and the sky. Do these Native Americans say UFO crafts? No. They call them spirits of the earth and sky for a reason, ladies and gentlemen, because these are not spaceships. All right, all over my travels, all over this valley of Phoenix, Arizona, all these mountains, I've seen and filmed over 1,000 petroglyphs. I have a lot of photographs of petroglyphs, okay, in my journeys, and not one time do I ever see anything that resembles a spaceship, resembles a craft, resembles a little gray man. None of that. It is not talking about that. It is talking about living entities, living beings. And I believe that's what we are dealing with here in the skies above Phoenix, Arizona. Not only here in Arizona, but your neck of the woods also. And so, yeah, after his death, they buried all this information. They stopped talking about the tombs. They stopped talking about the petroglyphs. They stopped talking about the gold out there. They stopped talking about how the Spanish was here. The Spanish conquistadors here in Phoenix, Arizona. They covered all that stuff up for 80 long years. You know, my travels and my investigations, I'm finding all this. I've been an archaeologist way before I was a ufologist. And that's what, got me into all of this, And, a matter of fact, when I first started doing this in 2004, I wanted some answers. I wanted to know what the hell was going on. And so, I don't believe anything happens by chance. I believe everything happens for a reason. And that reason was when I first started getting into this, lo and behold, what do I see? What do I see on the public access channel, Channel 8 in Phoenix, Arizona? I see a Native American tour guy up on South Mountain, right? And he's talking about the petroglyphs. Not only is he a Native American, but he's a shaman, and he actually works at one of the Indian museums in Phoenix, Arizona. He's up there talking about the petroglyphs, right? There's a gentleman that's with him, and he's like, hey, this stick figure, man, looks like he's looking up at something above the sky, something above his head. And he turns around and he says, yes, that is part of the interpretations here, is that our ancestors saw and recorded things on the rocks. Now, wait a minute. Hold the phone here, guys. Just hold everything. Wait a minute. I was like, what? What? Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me right now? So we have strange lights in the sky. Now we have strange markings on the rocks? What? And how many years after the 1997 Phoenix lights and none of these so-called UFO investigators has looked into this? Are you kidding me right now? What? They want to write books and show movies and all this, stuff. But no one's talking about the petroglyphs? Oh, my goodness. What? Are you serious right now? Called that brother up, man. I was like, dude. Man. I said, look, man, I saw you on television, right? I found him. Saw you on television, dude. You're talking about the petroglyphs. Oh, my. Go up there and teach me everything you know, man. You got to let me know about this stuff, dude. Because there's something going on, right? Well and behold, what is he telling me? He's telling me spirals are doorways, right? Talking about the giants in Phoenix, Arizona, right? Uh-oh. Giants, people, giants. Oh, yeah. Giants, man. I've seen the evidence of the giants. Yeah. I've seen the walls that the giants have constructed on South Mountain. I've seen the tombs in which these huge, massive boulders has been covering up the doorways to these tombs. How did the Hohokam people put those boulders there, right? They didn't have cranes. They didn't have machinery. How'd they get these heavy-ton boulders into these doorways to block off some of these entrances to these tombs? So much evidence of giants, I'm telling you. Talking about spiral doorways. Talking about the spirits of the earth and sky. Now, these archaeologists out here in Phoenix, they see these shape-shifting petroglyphs, and they call them anthropomorphs, right? So you see these weird-looking type animals out there, and they call them anthropomorphs. But what they really are shape-shifting entities, shape-shifters, right? Because that's what the Indians been telling us this whole time, right? They're shape-shifters, right? Lots and lots of information that has been covered up away from you, for the last 80 years, and I'm here to bring all this information to you. Do I make any money off this? Nope, I don't make a dime. I don't make a dime off my book. I don't make a dime off all the cable shows I've done and news reports and all the special events that I speak at talking about the Phoenix Lights and their history. I don't make any money from this. It's not about money. It's about getting this information to you. If you cannot get to the mountain on your own, then I bring it to you in my book. I got a copy right here. Look at that. I got a copy right here, brother. And is it hearsay? No. Is it just words? No. It's photographs, ladies and gentlemen. It's color photos, man. This is not just my opinion. This isn't my opinion, folks. This is stuff that I actually can prove. And a lot of these other skywatchers can't prove this. Look at this. Look at it. See that? All these photographs. You know, you pick up these UFO books today, and it's all words, right? I don't have any proof. It's a lot of hearsay. Pick up my book. I'm going to show you the facts. I'm going to show you what's up there on South Mountain. I'm going to show you all the stuff that I discovered up there over my, 15 years plus up there doing my investigations on the Phoenix Lights. No one in history has ever done more research on the Phoenix Lights than I have. I don't care what anybody says, dude. That's it. They're not up there busting their ass, climbing them rocks, crawling. Oh, my God. There's times when I'm coming down off that mountain, I cannot walk anymore. I'm crawling, dude, on the pavement, man. I am so worn out. Okay? I did it. I was up there. For what? Getting the information down. Bringing these sacred scrolls down from the mountain into your hands, into this book. And that's what they are. That's what these petroglyphs are. They're prehistoric photographs. They're prehistoric scrolls. They're ancient scrolls of Arizona's history. And what do they talk about? They are talking about some scary stuff. And that's the reason why the government's not talking about this. That's why they buried all of Charles Holbrook's information after he died. It's in the library. Look it up. Go to the fourth floor. And all you people that here in Phoenix, Arizona, go to Burton Bar Library in downtown Phoenix. Go to the fourth floor, Arizona room, ask that secretary, give me the file on South Mountain, 1964, I believe, and older. She's going to come out with a big-ass folder, and it's going to talk about Holbrook. It's going to talk about the Mayans. All that information you can find on my website. All this information you can find in my book. Okay, so I can go on, and I have been going on for years, okay? Ever since 2005 when I first discovered all of this. I have not once changed my story. I was thinking one possible explanation for the Phoenix Lights, but all the proof and the evidence is taking me somewhere else. All the evidence is pointing down this road, and it's a scary road. And that's the reason why they're not talking about this. This is why, they say they're going to come out with disclosure, and they're going to come out. I don't believe this. I really don't believe that they will ever tell you what these UFOs are. UAPs now, they call them. Because of their history. You have to look at these beings' history. And yes, they do. It is part of the world's history. It's not just here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the whole world. It explains on what happened to these Hohokam Indians. Hohokam is a Pima word for the people who got taken away, the people who are missing. The true Native Americans who understand this, who has been taught by their ancestors and generations, will tell you that these Hohokam people got taken away by these Phoenix Lights, by these creatures in the sky. They ruled this desert for 1,000 years. And then one day they simply disappeared. And this isn't just the only tribe in history that disappeared. Many tribes around the earth at the same time came up missing, just disappeared off the face of the earth with no explanation. Archaeologists, they want you to believe they migrated somewhere else. But the petroglyphs and the oral traditions and the history tells a completely different story. And do you think, and do you really think that the government doesn't know about this? Of course they do. That's why those black helicopters and those airplanes are circling around South Mountain. They're waiting. They're watching. They know that they know that there's something there. They watch him. They've been watching him way before I have. They knew this stuff was going on at this mountain. That's why they made it a government park. That's why you can't go up there and dig up these tombs. Why? Why pick on South Mountain, right? Why not make it the Superstition Mountains? Make that a government park. Why don't you make White Tank Mountains a government park? Why don't you make North Mountain a government park? Why don't you make Shaw Butte, or some people call it A Mountain, a government park? What's up with South Mountain, dude? Why pick on South Mountain? Why did you make this a government park? I tell you why. Because there are stuff up there. There are things buried up there that they do not want you to know about. They want you to stay on the trails. They don't want you to go off the trails. They don't want you to start digging up there. Why? Because you are going to find the evidence, brother. You are going to find the gold. You are going to find the truth. You're going to find the evidence of the Mayans. You're going to find the evidence of what the Phoenix Lights really is. All of that stuff. And they trying to keep that hush-hush. They can't just totally erase the mountain and get it out of history like they want to. But they make it so if you find a tomb and you start digging and you pull out whatever's in there, you will get a healthy fine and go to prison. That's the only way they can do that. That's the only way they can stop all this. Absolutely, people. Absolutely. Check it out. Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky. Find it on Barnes & Noble. Find it on eBooks. Find it on eBay. Tons and tons of work here. Not hearsay, but proven facts. Proven facts. Boy, I could go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, let's move on. Vulture City Paracon Part 2 coming at you. Wickenburg, Arizona. Last year got canceled. Yeah, everybody knows why, and that sucks. But we're coming back. Coming back in October. Look at all the speakers. Look at all the people that's going to be there. Look at that. And from what I understand, talking with Jane Marie, there's going to be more speakers and vendors. Oh, my God, bring your money because you're going to have lots of fun time there. And I just love the shops. I love the vendors out there. And let's come on out here and do a meet and greet. Bring your books. I'll be doing autographs out there. And first time ever is going to be a UFO Sky Watch event. I'll be doing a lecture out there talking about the Phoenix Lights, talking about the petroglyphs, and we're also going to go out there and do a live sky watch hunt. So hopefully these UFOs will come by, and get your tickets early, get your tickets soon. I believe the VIP tickets has already been sold out. But there's still some left. So it's coming. It's approaching, people. It's coming up in October. What is it? 8th, 9th, and 10th. 8th, 9th, and 10th. There you go. Jane Marie Yates. Contact them. Great people out there. Contact them on Facebook. Get a hold of Vulture City. Get your reservations. Get your tickets now. Let's talk about ghosts. Right? Because we're doing a ghost hunt out there. That's what it's all about. It's a haunted area. It's a haunted place. Vulture City Mine. And let's talk about UFOs. Let's do a meet and greet. Come on out. Let's say hi. Let's do a UFO Skywatch. Alrighty then. Get your tickets now. Okay, dude. Let's move on. All right. So these petroglyphs here are the ones that are located in South Mountain, Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, let's get into this. Let's look at this one here. I'm going to have to extend this here. Now look at this one. Now, you see this here? And then look at all this, right? And look where he's kind of headed. He's headed towards this crack. You see this crack here? Even though there's not a spiral here, at least no, not one in this photograph that I can see, he's actually oriented towards that crack. And those cracks are the doorways, are the emergence points. 9 times out of 10, you will see a spiral at that crack. This UFO entity is going into that doorway. It's oriented. It's facing. It's going in that doorway. Look how it's facing. It's going up, right? Does it look like it's going down? No, it's more like it's going up. And can you see the reason why people might think that this is a spaceship? You know, I mean, I understand all that, you know. Because, you know, that's what they were taught. That's what they were, you know, was meant to believe. And a lot of people, you know, they think it is because that's all they can understand is technology. You know, they see a light out there and they think it's a spaceship. Well, you know, that light is the creature. Here, look at this here, right here where the arrow is. See that orb right there? You can see that orb right there, right where I'm pointing at. And then we have this line, right? I've talked about these lines before in my shows. See that line's coming down? So we have an orb and then have another creature here. So we're looking at, we're looking at 2 UFOs, 2 entities, 2 creatures, and they're connected together by this line. Is that a string? No. Is this a balloon? Absolutely not. Why would the Hohokam Indians be carving balloons when balloons didn't exist back then? And that's one of the problems with a lot of ufologists today and a lot of these sky watchers is they see a legit UFO in the sky. They see these orbs, right? But then they see what looks like a string hanging down from the bottom of it, right? So they assume, oh, it must be a balloon because it has a string, right? It's got a string because it's a balloon. That's not a string, people. That is a line. And so many petroglyphs I have found out there on South Mountain show these lines coming down and picking people up and taking them up into the sky. Not just people, but animals too. Check out my website. On the very front page, I show a petroglyph. This orb with this line is coming down and he's picking up a man. So when you see these things in the sky, examine how they fly. Study them. Is it going in a straight line, right? That's one giveaway. Okay, because balloons go up and the wind takes them in all different directions. Sometimes you can actually see that knot on the bottom with the string, right? But if this thing is going in a straight line, that's one indication that thing is in control. This thing is not a drone, right? It's not blinking like a drone. There's no noise, right? It's on a mission. It's going in a straight line. Is it going straight up? No. Is it coming down? No. It's going in a straight line. It's on a mission. It's going somewhere. Where's it going? It's coming from one energy spot to the next energy spot. And yes, sometimes they have what looks like a string that comes down from them. But that's not a string. Sometimes they actually interact with each other. They connect together. And when they do that, then we have what's called a barbell formation, a barbell UFO. And so many petroglyphs of barbells are on South Mountain. It's just crazy. Here we have a coyote. And look at this. Look at this glyph. And he's looking at a orb right there. Look at that. This orb. See that? Isn't that neat? And you can tell. Look at the carvings. Let's blow this picture up. Let's look at this picture a little bit closer here. Let's blow it up. Look at that. Isn't that neat? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. A prehistoric photograph, a prehistoric UFO sighting, right? Same stuff we see in the skies today. The Hohokam people saw it also, right? You can't get over this information here. This is fact. This is not hearsay. This is not just my opinion. All this stuff is real. No, you're not crazy. Yes, you did see a UFO. Yes, they've always been here. No, they're not from another planet. Uh-oh, did I just say that? Yes, I did. They're not from another planet. These things are here on our planet. This is their planet also. This is their world also. These things have been here before us. Look at the history of these things. Look what these ancient people have written on scrolls, such as the Anunnaki scrolls, the Sumerian texts, these carvings, right? They're talking about these beings. And yes, of course, even in the Bible. Now, I'm not going to talk about religion. I don't like religion. Let's get religion out of the door. Let's just take religion out of these scrolls. And when you do that and you look at these scrolls, these ancient scriptures, they tell you what these things are. This book is not a book of religion. That's man-made crap. Okay, this religion, that's man-made. Okay. But these ancient scrolls are history of the world. It's written testimony of where the world, how the world was created, how it was formed, how it was shaped. Everything makes sense in that book. But a lot of people say, oh, you're throwing religion at me, dude. Don't talk about religion. It's not about religion, dude. It's about the history of the world. And it tells you what these beings are. It tells you what these creatures are. Does it say spaceships? No. Man put that in. Even with the Anunnaki inscriptions, even with the drawings on their tablets, on their pipes, or whatever you want to call those things that they inscribed on. They're steles. Man put that in there. Man thinks, automatically assume that they flew in spaceships. No, man, they were able to fly on their own. They're able to shapeshift. Some shapeshifted into a man, right? And that's what some of these petroglyphs out here on South Mountain are doing. They're talking about shape-shifting entities. Sometimes they look like serpents. Sometimes they look like animals. Sometimes they look like people. That's one of the interpretations out here, is when the Hohokam people first arrived here, that these entities, these creatures, and some would call them lizard people, came up out of the sand world, out from the underworld, down from the heavens. They had these tails to look like, and then they lost these tails to look like everyone. They shape-shifted into people. They wanted to look like everyone else. That's the interpretation. That's the history here. That's what the Native American legend says here in Phoenix on who the Hohokam people were and who helped them when they lived here in the Valley of the Sun. It talks about these lizard people. Are they really lizard people? I don't think so. I don't think they're lizard people. I think that term came from past generations of these petroglyphs. When people see these petroglyphs, and you see a stick figure man, and his hands are upwards and his legs are downwards, and then he's got this tail coming down from the bottom, and then there's like a circle body there. And they think that tail is like a lizard. So they assume that this must be a lizard person, a lizard people. I don't think that's the case at all. I think what is going on with these petroglyphs that look like men with these tails. And these orbs, these circles in the belly, is first, that circle is the orb. Okay? Right here. So first we see the orb like we're seeing today. Okay? I've talked about this in past shows. So first we see the orb. This is what we're seeing today. We're seeing these orbs in the sky. Now this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. These orbs is nothing on what else they can do. Out from these orbs, they start to grow. They start to anthropomorph. They shape shift. They change. They grow. These lines come out from them. Another orb will come on top. That's the head. And then these lines come up out from the body there. That's the arms. And then another line comes down from that orb, and more lines extend downward. That's the legs and the tail. And so when people see these type of petroglyphs, they think that they are lizard people, lizard men. And they're not really understanding that what you're looking at is possible to UFOs, two entities. We have an orb for the head, an orb for the body, a line connecting the two, and then more lines coming back up on either side, and then that tail, that long tail. And that tail is scary because that's the thing that seems to be picking up these animals. I've seen petroglyphs with these serpents, these Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, with these tails, and they're picking up men. And these orbs picking up men. Why would the Indians carve balloons like circles with a line coming down from it? Dude, that makes no sense, dude. These are not balloons. These petroglyphs are showing us they're carving, they're prehistoric photographs of what we are seeing today. And when you study the petroglyphs and you understand the petroglyphs, you'll understand their past. They'll understand their history. So, the question is, we see the lights now in our generation. We see these UFOs in the skies now. What does that say about our future? If mankind interacted with these beings in the past and came up missing, disappeared from history, wiped out from the face of the earth, and now we are seeing the exact same things in the sky that they recorded on the rocks, what does that say about our future, right? That's why there will never be disclosure. They will never tell you what these things are. Here's the Hohokam Canal. This is great. This is up on South Mountain, and you can see the Hohokam Canal there. Right here. All this is the walls here. And all the way up through here. All the way around. Isn't that neat? That is a prehistoric Hohokam Canal. And, you know, the city of Phoenix in the valley are still using some of these Hohokam canals to this day. They're more advanced. They're more deeper. They're filled with concrete. But it's the same grid. It's the same Hohokam Canal grid that the city of Phoenix is using today. That's how great these people were. That's how smart they were. It wasn't a dried up desert back then. There was tons of water here in this desert. It wasn't a desert. It was a tropical-like landscape. There was tons of water here when the Hohokam people were here. They didn't have any trouble with water. Tons of water. And in my past shows, I tell you what happened. I tell you how this beautiful landscape full of greenery and life-giving water became dead and dry and desolate and hot. Terribly hot. I explain in my past shows on what happened to this land back in the day. It's in my book. I love this tree. This tree is so cool. Look how old this tree is. Look at that. Isn't that neat? This is found on Holbrook Trail on South Mountain. And you could just tell, right? I mean, just standing by this tree, I mean, you could tell there's some hangings going on. There's a lot of history to this tree, man. This tree is so old, and it's really cool. You know, there's an area by this tree, and if you find it, bring a compass. Somewhere, see the mountain here, back here, all along this mountain here, and all the way. There's more to it. But you want to get a compass. Bring a compass, and in the right spot, you stand there next to that spot. That compass will go crazy. Yeah, that compass will go crazy. It cannot fix it. It cannot. There's some magnetic force right there that is interfering with that compass, and it's in this area. It's on the west side of Holbrook Trail. Go check it out. Find it. It's neat. Give you guys something to do. Look at this. Here we have the feathered serpent. We have the Quetzalcoatl. See that? This flying serpent UFO, the flying serpent. I have seen that many times. I can honestly tell you, the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl is alive and well, and he's flying around the Phoenix skies, and possibly in your area also. Here we have another. Look at this. They're not talking about the barbells. See this? Now, a lot of these people, all they see is, this square. And now they like to call them tic-tac UFOs, right? Look at the lines. See the lines coming from them? And they hook with other UFOs, with other beings. These lines do. And then that's when they become a barbell. It's really hard to see. Let me see. A serpent UFO, that's what that yellow arrow says. It's really hard to make out. But yes, there is another serpent. Oh, I see it. It's right there. There he is. Yeah. And he kind of S's around that way. Yeah, so that's another serpent. We got 2 serpents. Isn't that neat? Petroglyphs in the sky. That's it. Is it spaceships in the sky? No. Petroglyphs in the sky. Why? Because that's what we're seeing in the skies are these petroglyphs. These things that we see in the skies today is nothing new. And I'll give you a little hint also. These things don't die. The same ones that we see in the skies today are the same ones that the ancient people saw in their day. These things do not die. They are the same ones. And in my past show, my last show I just did, it gives a possible explanation on why they're here, what they're doing. It's something to think about. Here we go again. Now look at this. Look at this UFO. South Mountain. Here's that line I'm talking about. See? We have this orb, right? This looking, oh, it's a flying saucer. That's why they call it. It's a flying saucer. Nope. It's just an orb. It's just a creature. Look at the line. And where is he going? Where is he oriented to? See, he's oriented and he's going into this crack. See this? See how this UFO is going into the crack, into the underworld, right? Down into that fault line. Here's that line. There's the line. No, it's not a string, ladies and gentlemen. That's a scary line. That line right there likes to pick things up. That's it. Isn't that neat? South Mountain. Prehistoric photographs of Phoenix, Arizona's past. Absolutely. This is going to be kind of hard to see. Let's check it out. Okay, here we go. And we can see the orbs here. Look at that. These orbs in the sky that we see today is nothing new. This is not new. These things have always been here. Look at these orbs, people. Look at this. Look at this sighting. Look at that UFO sighting, right? We've seen this. We've videotaped this. We see this type of sighting all the time. And look, it looks like a pyramid to me. Kind of a pyramid there. We have another orb there. But these two, look at that. Look, and then look at this one here, right? Look at that. These UFO sightings that we see is nothing new. Nothing new to the world. Nothing new to history. But this information isn't talked about anymore. It's overlooked. And I really think that we need to take a second look at these petroglyphs out here, because it's telling us, man, it tells us what these things are. They explain to us. We have to listen to our past to understand our future. Now this is crazy. Look at this. Oh my. Oh my. Now look at this. This is a complex panel. Okay. So, we have a coyote. We know he's a coyote. He's normal, right? There's his ears. Could be a deer. I'm saying a coyote. Because look at his tail. Because we know deers don't have that big tail, right? So it's a coyote. Tons of coyotes up on South Mountain. Look at that. Look, look, look. He's looking up. He's looking up. What's he looking at? Look at that. Look, look, look. Look at all these things here. See all this? Look at this. Whoa, this is crazy. Look hard. Is this a man? Is this right here a man? And look at his arms. See those arms? And I talk in my past shows that when the arms are down, that's a symbol for death. So is this a man here? And is this UFO creature? Is this entity? Is he carrying this man? Is that what this coyote is looking up at? Is he looking at this UFO creature? Look at this. Look at this line. Look, 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 look. See the orb right there? You see that orb? And look at the line coming down. And he's morphing. He's anthropomorphing. Look at this here. Are these more orbs here? I mean, look at this. This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all this stuff. These are not, I mean, why? Why would the Indians carve this mess? To us, it's a mess. It's a crazy, complex graffiti. Why would they waste their time on this? Because this is what they witnessed in the sky. This is what they saw. Oh, here's the serpent. Look at that. See? This is what they saw. Look at this. See all these lines and squiggly markers? Now, this right here could resemble a canyon. So we have to look on the other side of this rock to verify this. But this could be the canyon. This could be the emergence, one of the emergence points into the underworld, into the fault lines. So we have to look at the background to understand. Because when you look at this art, you have to include the whole landscape in with the art. That's what the Indians are doing. They're including the landscape in with the art. Now here we go. Here's another orb. See that orb there? There's like a half an orb. That coyote, dude, he's looking up, man. And is this entity? Is this creature? This UFO? UAP? Unidentified aerial phenomenon? Picking up this guy? Could be. Look at all this stuff. Look at this. Why would they waste their time making this graffiti mess? And the only thing we can really make out, right, is the coyote. But all this stuff up here, what is all this? What is all this? What the hell is all this, right? Well, it's what they saw. It's what they recorded. It's what we are seeing today. And does it look like spaceships to you? Does this look like spaceships to you? Absolutely not. No spaceships, not crafts. Living creatures. All these lines here, all this stuff, all these things. Look at that. See the orb there and the line? Okay? They are alive. Now this one's cool. So there is a lot of confusion when you see these circles. Okay? When you see these circles. Now let's examine this. Let's blow this up more. Let's look at this circle here real closely now. Let's blow it up as big as we can. Now look at this circle. See this? It's not connecting. These lines are not connecting together. So this is not a spiral. This one kind of looks like a spiral. It kind of looks like it's connecting, right? And look at that. See the line? As we blow this photograph up, we can see more detail of it. That's as big as I can get it. And look at this. So, is that a spiral? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Because it's just circles within a circle. And there's a line. And then circles within a circle. Circle within a circle. Circle within a circle. See if I can move it over. Yeah. Okay. These are not doorways because they're not connected. See that? They're not spirals. They're just circles within circles. Even that, I mean. So these are not doorways. These are what we call UFOs. And one thing that I learned watching the Phoenix Lights, seeing them so close, is they like to pulsate. It's like they've got this energy, right? This plasma, and they're pulsating, right? And it kind of resembles this. It kind of resembles those circles. That's my point. I believe that we've already proven, because, we've already noticed that they're not spirals, they're not doorways, they're not connected, it's not going in a spiral. But it's a circle within a circle within a circle within a circle. So it's boom, 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 right? So how else, if we see that in the sky and it's pulsating, how are we gonna explain that when we're drawing it? When we're trying to, copy down this photograph. So you're gonna draw a circle within a circle within a circle because it's pulsating. You see that? Now, we have this guy here. Now, see this right here? This is why they think that they're lizard people. Now, this one just so happens not to have a belly, a circle in his belly. Normally, they have a circle in his belly, but they got this line, right? So they think that this is a lizard person. Now, here's another thing. As I mentioned before, now you see these arms? You see the arms, how they're going down? Here's the legs. Okay? Now, we don't see a head on that. So, I don't even think that's a man at all. I think in my past shows, I talk about these forks. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. See that? Boom. this fork. Just look at this fork here for a minute. All right? Now, that fork is scary. I've seen a lot of petroglyphs up there with this fork, and it's easily connected with an animal or a human. And so what this fork is doing is it's morphing. See? He's changing. He's changing. He's morphing. Oh, and then now, look. Now there's another fork. See? We have another fork there. We know it's not a head. There's no head there. No evidence of a head. Not a man. But two forks. Two UFO creatures. Two UFO forks. And the line. Let's look at that again. Let's blow it up. And let's start from the beginning. First we have a fork. Right? He's flying around, flying around, flying around. Now he's changing. He's morphing. See that line? And then now we have another fork. We have two forks connected together. So it's not a person, but two UFOs connected together. And then this thing right here in the middle, that right there, that's interesting. That is really hard to tell, but I'm not inclined to believe that that's a person. So I think that's another creature. I think that's another UFO, another UFO entity. Now this one here, this could be a person, but the carving is so poor, it's really hard to tell. But the legs look good for a person. There's his body. Maybe it's a headdress. Yeah. That could be a headdress. I'm inclined to believe that. Look at his legs. See that? And then his body, and then we can see his arms, and then his head, right? And then the feathers. Sure. I'm willing to believe that. I'm willing to say that that's what that's talking about. So it's a chief. Not chief, but the leader. And he's in the midst of all these creatures, all these UFOs. That's how to really examine these petroglyphs. Okay, now let's talk about this UFO sighting. Now this was filmed by Chris Ed, and not a lot of information on where he lived at and stuff like that. But you can find Chris Ed. You can contact him on Facebook, Chris Ed, and you can ask him about this UFO sighting. Let's check this out. And thank you, Chris, for bringing this to my attention. At first, he thought this was a drone. And so we're going to talk about why this isn't a drone. Let's go ahead and play this. Let's make this bigger. Look at this. And, for one, he's saying that it's not making any noise. All right? Let's see if I can stop it. Boop. Ooh, look at that. Let's zoom in on this bad boy. First, he thought it was a drone. Okay? But drones blink, right? You can see the propellers on drones, and they make a noise, right? Let's look how big we can blow this up. Look at that. And it's going in a straight line. It's going in a straight line. Let's see if I can catch it again. There it is. Woo. Ooh, that was a good one. Let's see if we can find that again. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to back this up and try to capture that. I'm going to try to grab that shot there. Get a good look at it. Boop. Nope, missed it. Boop, missed it. Boop. Oh, look at that. That is crazy. Look at that. That is neat. That is great. Look at that. Come on now, drone. No. Awesome catch, buddy. Great job. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is not a drone in any way, shape, or form. This is great. This is a great sighting. He did a great job filming this. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. That is awesome. Look at that thing. That thing is crazy, crazy, crazy. Love it. That is something else. Isn't that neat, ladies and gentlemen? Man, that is a good sighting. That is great. Now let me take this down a little bit further. Let's make it to the scale. And I want you to watch the whole sighting. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Look at that. That is crazy. Love it. Love it. Love it. Look at that. Look at that. Blood? Nope. But you hate it when those damn cameras don't focus. Yep, that's just crazy. Okay. So we're gonna watch the whole sighting. And look, it's going it's on a mission, people. Right? It's going in a straight line. Let's look at that. Gonna watch the whole sighting. Look at that. See that? There's no wind at all. This thing is on a mission. It's going in a straight line. Great capture, Chris. Awesome, buddy. You did a great job on this. Great, 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 great job. Awesome. So here's the beginning of the sighting, I believe. Yeah, this is the beginning. It's going right over his house. Look at that. Is that amazing or what? Look at that. It's going in a straight line. Awesome. Just spectacular. Great, great sighting. Yeah, and he just filmed this a few days ago. So he is definitely in a path. He is in the path. Ooh, look at that. Oh my God, let's blow it up. Look at that crazy stuff, man. Great job, Chris. Awesome. Way to go. Chris Ed, you're the man. You did it, brother. You did that. That is neat. That is crazy, crazy, crazy good. Good stuff, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing this. And if you guys ever have captured a UFO, please message me on Facebook. Get a hold of me on Facebook. The Phoenix Lights Petroglyphs in the Sky. Find me on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Phoenix Lights Petroglyphs in the Sky. And make sure that you find us on Facebook also. The Phoenix Lights Petroglyphs in the Sky. Now, make sure it says the Phoenix Lights. Any other thing that just says Petroglyphs in the Sky, that's somebody else on YouTube. That's not me. There's someone who's stolen my work. And so make sure that it says the Phoenix Lights Petroglyphs in the Sky. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Make sure that you contact me on Facebook and subscribe to my channels. And thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.